What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about my 1 week experience on Retatrutide and GHK-Cu. So I started last Monday and it is currently the next Monday, so it's been exactly 1 week. I've been taking notes of what I've noticed being on the peptides, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. Before I get into the details of my peptide usage, I want to mention that I think your fundamentals are going to be a lot more important than any medication you can take for them. That being said, the reason I'm trying out Reta and GHK-Cu is because I think that peptides have a big potential to be the future, and I want to see where they can take me. Hopefully not to Gandhi heaven, but instead to Agartha. Please let that be the truth. So, I already know how to diet. I also know how to train, and I've made huge transformations in the past, losing tens of kilograms and experimenting with tons of diets too. So what I'm currently doing is just experimenting and see how far I can take my progress and ascension in looks and physique. So I'm currently 108 kilograms at 200 centimeters tall. That is around 240 pounds at 6'7", which is a crazy height in this day and age. And I've been on peptides for 1 week now. When I started, I was 243 pounds, so that is 110 kgs. So I'm down a little bit, but I doubt that the Reta is actually causing any significant weight loss because this amount of weight can also be water weight. I must admit that my gym and diet in the past months were lacking and not optimized to the fullest, but I've been on a pretty decent diet for the past 2 weeks, aiming for roughly 2,500 to 3,000 calories per day with a sufficient protein intake of around 200 grams per day, 5,000 steps daily, and training on a full body every other day schedule. And the reason I'm doing full body every other day is because it actually fits my busy work schedule quite well. So the peptides, I ordered them from a trusted source in the EU that did their own third-party testing. The source was more expensive than ordering it directly from China, but that's also because I'm yet to find a vendor that doesn't seem sketchy to me. Neither am I making this video to sell you anything with a promo code. I just wanted to mention that because when I did my own research and I was looking on TikTok, Google, Reddit, everywhere, it's just riddled with a lot of jesters and scam artists trying to get them to use your code, or Chinese vendors trying to make their way into you buying their peptides. My first bin of Retatrutide was 0.25 milligrams, and I took that on Monday, and my second bin was on Thursday, also 0.25 milligrams. I've heard people take 1 milligram straight up. I didn't want to do that because I've heard of people also doing that and noticing significant side effects like nausea and an immediate crash in energy levels because your hormones are restabilizing. Before I get into the Retatrutide and my experience, I want to explain what Retatrutide is. And in simple terms, Retatrutide is basically a next generation weight loss medication that works by mimicking 3 different hormones in your body that it already naturally produces. It's GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. These hormones control things like appetite, blood sugar, and how your body burns fat. So you can think of Reta like a triple stacked version of Ozempic, which is already very popular and clinically trialed very well. Instead of helping you eat less, it also helps your body use energy more efficiently and push your fat oxidation higher. What I've personally noticed is it doesn't just kill your hunger, it also quiets your brain for food noise. It sounds a bit weird, but you're not really craving any food. It's just, the craziest part is I was on a low dose, but it happened fast. And within the first few days, I realized that I couldn't finish meals, or food was less appetizing to me. Normally, I'm someone who finishes a whole plate if I make one, but now it's easier for me to just let it stand there and either finish it later or, not eat it at all. I noticed on multiple occasions that by looking at food, I just felt full and I couldn't eat it. So that actually faded around day 5 to 7. I am not too sure why, but it could be because the dosage was so low that I started on that it just faded away naturally. And that is why I made the decision to go to 0.5 milligrams today, which I pinned this morning. I haven't noticed anything crazy today. I've had 2,800 calories and the food noise was still there actually, But I do want to say again that 0.5 milligrams is still a very low dosage of retatrutide, as the recommended dose is around 1 milligram to start off with. I just started lower, as I said, because I wanted to go through the full spectrum of experiencing everything about it. And as for the GHK-Cu, I can't say that I've noticed any significant changes yet. However, I may have noticed my skin being a bit firmer. I'm only on 2 milligrams daily, so that dose is actually not that high. Neither is it low. It's just kind of in the middle. My effects that I've noticed, I don't know if they're really there yet, because it could also be a placebo. It's only been a week, and I will just continue taking GHK-Cu until I notice a clear difference in my skin quality. But so far, so good. I've heard people deal with post-pain injections, but I have not had that. I also do have a little bit more fat on my body, especially around the hips, because you do inject it into your fat. So maybe that plays a role, maybe not. I would say I notice my skin glow a little bit more in certain occasions, but it hasn't been anything quite significant yet. It could also just be a placebo, as I said. The reason I'm taking GHK is because I'm 26 years old, and naturally around my age, your collagen production slows down. My elastin production slows down, and I just want to improve my quality of skin. That is really why I'm taking the GHK. Pair that with the Reta to lose weight, stay in great shape, and also experiment with that. That is kind of my experience with the peptides I'm taking. I'm curious about other peptides like MOTS-C or melanotan. I will and I may experiment with those in the future as well. And when I do, I will make a video about that. So this is the first week update. I hope you guys found it useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next update or whenever I decide to upload next.